This is Shawn and Sue's podcast on 92.7 WOBM.
The Ocean County Breakfast Show with Shawn Michaels and Sue Moss.
Ocean County's best variety. 92.7 WOBM.
Hey, it's Shawn and Sue, and it's time for our latest podcast as we get set to end. Can you believe the summer coming to an end, unofficially?
No.
Can you believe it, though?
No.
Here we are, finishing out and heading into September. You know, we're going to talk about back to school in this podcast, Sue. Also, this was something funny that we did that we're going to hear. You learned a little bit about the birds and the bees. or I should say the birds and the moths.
Yeah, from Nancy Remy?
Yes, she gave you a little quick little thing. Yeah. Also, we're going to talk about the battle between gravy and sauce. And, the differences and what we thought about that. Also, we'll revisit our coffee talk that we had recently with Steve Perry and Glass Tiger.
That was cool.
And some great music and just lots of good stuff and new music. And we're going to talk about that as well. But, yeah, end of summer, Sue. What are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling I'm not ready. I need summer again.
But September is always a good bonus summer-like month for us here. And it's a lot quieter, and you can get out and still
warm.
Do a lot of great things because there's a lot going on during September. So anyway, sit back, check out our website at WOBM.com for news and information, and enjoy the podcast.
Mwah.
Do it all again.
92.7 WOBM with Katy Perry, Shawn and Sue. Right now, 740, 75 degrees. And, of course, back to school is about to take place as the kids get set next week to start classes again. Hard to believe we're saying that, Sue.
I can't even believe it. Snap of the finger.
You can't wrap yourself around that
and
idea.
Tonight is our orientation for middle school, and I can't even believe it.
Wow. All right, so.
Oh, my word.
Back to school getting set, and top10reviews.com came out with the back to school most wanted list.
Okay.
For 2018.
Give it to me. Let's see if I have it all.
All right, here's some of the things. Now, these things here are pretty obvious. Paper, rulers, compasses, protractors, all right? Pencil supplies,
Right.
glue and construction paper, okay? These are things that we kind of expect. Erasers and mechanical pencils. But here's some of the things that they added that are high on the list this year. Academic planners, the notebook planners. They say they average around $15 in price, but they say they're a must-have.
They're big, all right.
For this year.
Good.
Also, they're saying that travel laptop backpacks are a must this year. Because I
So
guess
it's where you put the laptop in the backpack?
yeah, do more and more kids bring the laptops to school?
I guess.
You know,
I don't know.
They say on average they're running about $30.
I would think more high school
All right.
than
Yeah, for the
other
bigger
grades.
kids.
Yeah.
For the bigger kids. Here's another thing. Now, remember in our day we had the the tin lunch boxes. They're saying
yes!
they're saying this.
Do you remember
for
them?
this year though,
Yeah.
and lately the Thermos soft lunch kit.
Yes, definitely.
Is what is in style. So I guess they're softer now. They're made
They
of
are
like
softer.
material.
They stay a lot cooler or warmer.
Mm-hmm.
Insulated perfectly. What is that noise in our ears?
That's the classroom.
They're very loud. Please
Well, that's
take
them
your
in the
seat,
cl- in the-
class.
Yeah. They're saying
Jeez.
that the Thermos soft lunch kit is running on average about $12 this year. One of the highest rated things that kids are going to need this year is the Texas Instruments calculator.
Oh.
The TI-30X2, as a matter of fact.
Isn't that so confusing?
And they run about $40. And you know it's a sign of the times.
What?
When, us as parents, we don't even know how to use these calculators.
I know. You're right.
My son and daughter had to have these type of, scientific calculators, and I didn't even know how to use the thing. I don't even know what the buttons on it are for.
That's so funny. How do you turn
isn't
it on?
Yeah, what do I do with this thing? I couldn't even use it if I wanted to. But the kids are using these, and they're saying, that's the big thing. The Texas TI-30X2, and that runs about $40.
That's a biggie. Okay.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that was on the list, and I'm not sure the kids are even allowed to bring these to school, they're saying scissors and safety scissors. I don't even think you can bring scissors to school. I think they provide them for
Maybe
you there.
younger.
You know,
Once
and
again,
maybe
these are
those,
for the younger kids.
and those rounded safety
the rounded
scissors.
one,
Yes.
like for elementary.
Don't
maybe.
bring scissors to school.
I would think that most teachers or art teachers have them.
Yes, I don't know why that's on the list, but that's on the list, and I don't think
Okay.
the kids can even bring those. So anyway, those are some of the things that are on pens, highlighters, and markers also on the list. And a reminder as we finish up this segment that Shawn and Sue's Stuff-A-Bus continues, presented by the Jay and Linda Grunin Foundation. You and I, Sue, will be out on September 9th at the ShopRite Toms River on 37 doing our finale to Stuff-A-Bus. But folks can stop by any Ocean County ShopRite location between now and September 9th and make a donation of school supplies to help out kids, because we just ran down some of those prices and things can get expensive. So help out the kids and donate with the Stuff-A-Bus. It's going on now.
Help out local kids, definitely.
And you can do that at any ShopRite location in Ocean County. Get details on Stuff-A-Bus at WOBM.com.
The Ocean County Breakfast Show, 92.7 WOBM.
Have you ever seen the hummingbird moth, Nancy?
Only because my sister sent me a picture.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Someone actually put a video of
That's
it
so
up, and it's a
cool.
very strange-looking bug.
Yeah.
But it does look like a hummingbird at first glance, and then you
Yes,
see,
it
wait a minute,
does.
something's not right there. Just a
Mothra.
yes.
That is crazy.
So Sue asked the question, can hummingbirds and moths mate? And I said, I don't think so.
No, one is an insect. One is a bird.
And
Oh, Sue, do we have to get into that now?
Wow, this really does
Well-
define the birds and the bees,
No,
doesn't
this
it?
this really explains a lot.
92.7 WOBM, Shawn and Sue. It is 8:45, 78 degrees. Shawn Michaels in with the always cantankerous Sue Mall.
what does that mean?
You can look it up.
Do you have a definition? Is
Of
it
cantankerous?
Nice? It just sounds big. Like, what are you calling me? Like a tank? Like, what does that mean? Are you looking it up right now? If you say a word, shouldn't you know what it means?
Well, I do kind of know what it means, but I want to.
You want to get the
I want to
definition
give you the
right?
actual definition. Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Argumentative,
What?
uncooperative,
That's not true.
cantankerous.
That's not true.
That's-
I'm not very argumentative.
Well, yes, I was trying to just do the school supplies. Are you arguing with me about that?
Well, because you said pads.
Well,
and when you think of pads, is Nancy
Oh,
reading
you don't
with us
need,
yet?
no, she's not. You don't
I
need
wanna
to. You
ask
don't.
her.
You don't even need to
Because
go back
I'm
to that.
guaranteeing it.
No, it's a writing
A high
pad.
schooler or a middle schooler, when you say, "Hey, hon,
All right.
did you pick up
Well,
the
you and I-
pads?" You know, they're thinking
Well, first of
something
all,
else.
our listeners are our age, and they're the ones dropping off the school supplies for the kids. So when we
Yeah.
talk to our
Our listeners, yes, you,
when I say,
yes.
"Hey, we need some pads," they're
They're
thinking
not-
writing pads. They're not going to be dropping off.
Oh, I hope someone brings a good
Hygiene.
bag of always. Because then, why do you get so embarrassed with that?
It's not
life.
embarrassing.
But you
It's-
always put your head down.
It's a combination
okay.
of frustration
Yeah.
and
How
just.
is that frustrating to you? You don't have to deal with the monthly demon. We do. So how is that?
Oh, I have to deal with the daily demon. The always
at
can.
home and work.
No, you're not at my home.
Oh no, but I'm saying,
No,
with your wife.
no,
and-
don't put any of the women in my life into the same boat as you.
Oh my
The always
gosh.
cantankerous Sue
Okay,
Mall.
but I'm not very argumentative. I don't
Right
think.
now you.
Okay.
Right now you are uncooperative, argumentative.
Uncooperative.
Nancy, I say cantankerous is a great adjective for Sue Mall.
Cantankerous?
Yes.
Oh, usually not.
No,
Thank you.
How can
usually
you
not.
say that, Nancy? Have you been drinking? How can you say that?
Cantankerous?
Yes, uncooperative, argumentative.
No.
Well,
Yeah. It's
Not at all.
Like right now, she's being that way with me. I'm trying to do the school supply drive, and she's just bringing up all kinds of other
I
things.
don't want to bring it up again, but I am one time and one time only. Shawn said, maybe you can pick up some pads. And I said,
Pencils,
people
paper,
don't
pads,
think that. They
rulers.
think maxi pads when you say pads. And kids these days, they're thinking like a,
kids these days?
they're thinking notebook. not pads.
I am thinking when I say we're doing our school supply drive, donate whatever you
How
can.
long can this talk go
Crayons,
for?
pencils, pads,
Nancy, I'm
erasers.
sorry that we brought you into
and she's
this.
worried that we're going to get nothing but feminine hygiene products in the box. And I'm saying no. Have you ever heard?
Some kids might need them.
Have you?
I'm just saying.
Cantankerous, argumentative, uncooperative.
No, I just think it's Sue being Sue. I
Cantankerous
never
Sue.
thought of her being cantankerous.
All right.
Just
Thank
a little,
you.
I'm
just
just
a
reading
little
you- I'm just
different.
I'm just reading you the definition.
Oh, that's argumentative, you
right.
think?
Yeah, no, not at all. It's going to be a very, very hot day today, Nance. How are the roads? Air conditioners on.
I don't know.
Now you wish you were
She
drinking.
doesn't even
Now you
know.
wish you had a little
I
bit
know.
of that
I
cooking
came
sherry.
into this like, what?
I know, believe me, that's what I said too.
This report is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. I was hoping it was by Staples and school supplies, but no. This report is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts, and we rechecked the scene.
WOBM, good morning.
Good morning. Shawn, just raise the white flag and give up.
What is your name?
I'm Frank.
Frank, what town are you from?
Frank.
Pelican Island.
So you think I should just get the white flag, raise it, and retreat?
Yes, you better go hide behind a rock because they got you.
Thank you, Frank.
Frank,
Hello, guys.
I'm telling you,
Good work.
your head's spinning too, isn't it?
Yes. Keep up the good work.
All right, thank you, Frank. He wants me just to raise the flag, Sue.
I think he said for you to keep up the good work. I think he was talking to you.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Probably
But
not
he
me.
wants me to raise the white flag and just surrender.
Yes.
Surrender.
I've been wanting you to do that for years.
As he put it, they've got you, Shawn. Cantankerous Sue Mall.
Stop it.
And
I am not.
and I got to come up with something for Nancy.
How about Nancy the nuisance?
Whoa.
No.
Wow. Out of your mouth, not mine. Cantankerous Sue Mall.
I love her.
All right, thanks for your call, Frank. And yes, I'm going to make a white flag and raise it high
They got you.
with WOBM. 92.7 WOBM with Prince, Shawn and Sue. It's 8:29, 78 degrees, almost at 80 already here in the 8 o'clock hour.
Oh.
So we were talking this week about sauce and gravy. Now, looking at the responses, and we had a bunch on the Shawn and Sue Facebook page, it looks like maybe sauce has the majority, but there's a lot of both going on here. Now, Carol says it's always sauce. Sandy says, if you're raised in an Italian household, it's gravy. Now, Bud wrote this, Sue. Bud says, before marriage, he called it sauce. After marriage, he called it gravy.
Exactly. Good job, Bud.
Now, Francine wrote in, she said, sauce without meat, a.k.a. marinara sauce or vodka sauce. Gravy once the meat is added. And she calls it Sunday gravy with meatballs, sausage, pork, etc. I do have to mention that my wife's sauce does have sausage and meatballs in it.
Yes.
So a lot of folks did say if you put the meat in there, then it becomes gravy. But if it's plain, it's sauce. So I don't know. It looks like a lot of sauce. Also, there's a few gravies in there. And then there's the people that depend, on whether or not you put any meat in the sauce. So that's the latest, Sue, on the controversy of sauce and gravy.
It is all about the gravy on the mashed potatoes and the sauce on the meatball.
That's the way you're going with it.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, thanks for everybody that wrote in. Regardless of whether you call it spaghetti sauce or Sunday gravy, all I know is it's delicious, right?
It sure is.
Hey, we'll be back. A look at news, traffic, weather, all coming up next at WOBM.
When your battery goes dead.
WOBM, good morning.
Hey, Shawn, how you doing?
Hey, Nick, what's happening?
I got this battle going on with you guys, sauce or gravy. Let me
Gravy.
ask you a question.
Yeah, what is it?
What do you put on roast beef?
Gravy.
Thank you. What do you put on, is it called tomato gravy or tomato sauce?
It's tomato sauce.
That's right. So you can't put the gravy on spaghetti.
Exactly. Gravy goes on mashed potatoes.
Right.
Sauce goes on the noodles, baby.
And I'm an authentic Italian, as I would know.
I'm going to have to tell her she's going to have to reevaluate her phrasing there.
A little bit, but it's still gravy on roast beef and sauce on.
Yeah, gravy drives me crazy. It's sauce, not gravy.
I'm going to put gravy on my meatballs.
Stop it.
Thanks,
Hey,
Nick.
have a good one, Nick.
All right, so there you go. Nick is saying it's sauce, Sue.
It is sauce,
But
not gravy.
I
on
think
the
when it's got
pasta.
a little oomph to it, it turns to gravy.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
This is a little, there's a little in there. Anyway, put some on your meatballs.
Gravy. No, it's sauce.
Why are you changing your voice there, Sue?
Because it sounds Italian.
92.7 WOBM, Shawn and Sue on a Monday morning, 7:40, and a story that I put together yesterday that I have for you this morning is all about the mysterious giant blocks in Southern Ocean County. Now, I never really knew the full story about this, even though I've lived here for all these years. I was out the other day taking pictures, getting some summertime photos and things.
Right.
And I stumbled across the blocks. And I said to myself, you know what? Why are these things in the middle of the road? So when I say they're in the middle of the road actually goes around them.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, because they're that
Why
big.
haven't I ever been here?
Because
Okay.
they're that big. They're
Wow.
like 25 feet high and 20 feet wide. They're pretty big.
That's crazy.
And after some investigation, it turned out that they were for a giant radio tower. In fact, the largest.
rocks?
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
The giant, most powerful transatlantic transmitter in America at the time. It was built
cool.
in 1912 in Mystic Island section of Little Egg Harbor. It was built by a German company, and they built this 820-foot tower that they use for transatlantic communication, like a telegraph. And this was around 1912. Well, World War I breaks out. They use it for, spying, and they say supposedly, according to lore, that they actually gave the signals to sink the Lusitania with this tower from, here in the U.S. So then the Navy steps in and says, you know what, we're taking this thing over. They take it over, and the rest is history. 1955 is when they took the tower down. But the remnants are still there. And the giant blocks that are in the road were these giant, anchors for the cables that held the tower in position.
All right.
So, and
Very cool.
The base of the tower is also on display with the Tuckerton, Historical Society. So it's pretty cool stuff. And here I am living there, and I never knew the whole story behind
Can you
this.
climb on those rocks now?
No. Well,
Okay.
I don't know why you would, but...
All right, well, I mean,
mean,
you just drive around it, and there's some giant boulders in the middle of
Well, it's not a boulder. It's a big square
Is that the
cement
picture
block.
that you took?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a giant
It's
block.
pretty cool. Does it have water coming through it?
No.
It looks like springs or something coming through it.
Mm.
All right.
Anyway, but there you go. There's the story of the
Neat.
giant blocks. And there's also one of the stacks, like a smokestack that was left from this complex that at the time was the second largest tower in the world, next to the Eiffel Tower.
Wow, that is cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I love these mysteries of
Yeah.
Ocean County. Can you find more for us? Can you give me 5 for the
I
rest
wish we
of the
had
week?
that tower still. We could, hook up, to that tower there, so we could
Unbelievable
boom
signal.
some radio out.
Yeah.
850-foot tower.
Sean,
Yeah.
your homework, since we're getting back to school and you're so excited
Yeah.
for fall,
Yeah.
your homework for
All
the
right,
next
you're yelling
4
at me, but go ahead. What?
Well, you're so excited for fall.
Yeah.
You need to find 4 more mysteries of Ocean County
4 more mysteries.
until the end of the week.
All right. We'll be back.
How does that sound?
Well,
It's your homework.
sounds like a lot of work. Well, I'm glad your underarms are comfortable.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't, sometimes my underarms, and maybe Nancy, you can, I don't know if men get this.
All right, so you're asking about Nancy if she, yeah.
Nancy, do your underarms get a little itchy sometimes? Mine do. And and I don't know why. And I don't know if it's before or after. I mean, it's not like I have a rash or anything. But I get
Glad
a little,
to hear that.
I get a little itchy sometimes, and I don't know why. It just happens. Do you get itchy under
Maybe
the
it's
armpits?
when there's no sun there.
Where the sun don't shine. WOBM, good morning. We're playing the morning coffee contest with Shawn and Sue. Who do we have with us?
Gina,
What town are you from?
Tom's River.
All right, so what do you think? What's that sound?
What's that sound? What could it be? What could it be? What's that sound?
trying to start a lawnmower?
No, not a lawnmower. WOBM, good morning. We're playing What's That Sound? What do you think it was?
Cash register?
Not a cash register.
Hi, good morning, WOBM. What's that sound?
Was it popcorn popping?
You got it. It was a popcorn popper. Congratulations. There you go. What's your name?
My name's Eileen.
Eileen, what town are you from?
I'm from Beechwood.
Eileen, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
You're going to Ollie's.
Oh, great. I can't wait.
Hold on the line. Don't forget, Ollie's just opened up. They're there off Indian Head Road, right across from the Home Depot in Toms River. And you could go over there and find good stuff cheap.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the home of good stuff cheap.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ollie's. That's their slogan. More chances to win coming up with WOBM. 92.7 WOBM with the Counting Crows, Shawn and Sue. Right now, 7:40, 74 degrees. And you know how I like my weather, Sue.
I love you. I know.
Hands up, cheery, 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 cheery. Hands down, cheery, 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 cheery.
I like it chilly, Sue.
Yeah, you do.
I like it chilly. And I did a story yesterday all about the 10 things why I love a 50-degree day to a 90-degree day, Sue. So let me give you some examples.
Give me a couple.
And I don't want to hear your rebuttal as to why you love 90-degree days.
All right.
All right. Number one reason why I love 50-degree days.
Tell me.
No bugs.
Yeah.
All right. Another reason I love 50-degree days. People won't ask me if I want iced coffee when, in fact, all I want is hot coffee. Every time I go in, I say, "Could I have this? Would that be iced or hot?" I just want hot coffee.
Okay.
All right. Another reason, lower electric bills because of the AC.
Not true. You have the heat on. Go ahead.
Well, I don't use electric for my heat.
Oh, okay.
So in my case, Sue, I use more electric during the summer. Finally.
Summer, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No sunburn. Poor Irishman like me burns out there on those 90-degree days.
You can burn in 50.
Days. No, you can't.
You can.
All right. So give me some reasons why you like a hot day, Sue.
Swimming! Swim, swim, swim. You can't swim in 50-degree weather unless your pool is heated and maybe covered, right?
That's true.
Another reason why I love, now this is me, I love 90-degree weather.
Okay.
Sweat.
See,
I love the sweat. It clears off the pores. Sweating is good for you.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, I understand if you work outside, you're going, "Sue, you're crazy." But some sweat on your face running down is so good for the pores.
Okay.
Another reason I love 90-degree weather.
Okay.
Warm nights.
All right.
Love the warm and muggy nights. You don't get them with 50-degree weather.
All right, let me give you another reason why 50 degrees is better.
What?
Soup. Soup is much better in 50-degree weather than 90-degree weather.
Soup is good in 50 and 90-degree weather. Yes, it is.
Who wants hot soup on a 90-degree day?
Oh, for goodness'
All right,
sake.
give me another reason why you love a 90-degree day.
How about that flavored ice? Oh, I love it. The snow cones, the Ritas. It tastes so good on a 90-degree day.
Here's another reason to love a 50-degree day. Fireplace. You put your fireplace on during those 90-degree days?
You do a fire pit at night in the warm, muggy nights.
All right, I'll give you another reason. No summer traffic, Sue. Or unless you like the traffic.
You just got me on that one. Whatever.
Check out the story, Reasons Why I Love a 50-Degree Day. We had listeners, and then we'll talk a little bit about their responses coming up with Shawn and Sue.
The Ocean County Breakfast Show with Shawn Michaels and Sue Long.
Ocean County's best variety. 92.7 WOBM.
92.7 WOBM, Shawn and Sue on a beautiful Friday at the beach in Seaside Park.
Someday you'll be shedding your tears to cry over me.
And joining us right now, Sue, Glass Tigers, Alan Frew joins us.
Oh, my goodness.
Bringing us back to 1987. I remember the first time. Alan, first of all, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Hi,
My
Alan.
pleasure, and I hope I'm not in the beach, because if I am, it means I'm in a bunker.
Yes. Alan is joining us from the confines of a beautiful golf course right now. But, hopefully you're not in the bunker there in the sand. But, 1987, my brother, Alan, brought home a brand new CD, or maybe even a bit of cassette. I'm
It
not
was a
sure.
cassette, sure.
And he said, band out of Canada, Glass Tiger,
Mm-hmm.
and it turned me on to the music and loved it ever since. So that's how it all began for me.
Oh, I loved Glass. I grew up with you, Alan. Glass Tiger was one of my favorites.
Well, thank you, guys. Thank you.
And I guess it's very appropriate. The new album's called 31 because it is 31 years since you came.
Can you believe that? Yeah.
Oh, my word.
31 years since Don't Forget Me When I'm Gone hit the airwaves.
Unbelievable. So what you
The
did with this
best.
album is you've sort of retooled everything. You gave it a nice, fresh, new look and smell and all that good stuff. Tell us about that. How was that putting the old stuff to a new sound?
Well, it was really supposed to be our 30th anniversary, and it was going to be a CD of brand new music. And I happened to throw a wrench into everything. I suffered a stroke in 2015, and it cost me a year of my life. And as part of my recovery, actually, I was out golfing, and with a dear friend. His name is Johnny Reed. He's done very well here in Canada. And we talked about how when you've had a traumatic event in your life, you really notice what's important. You know, it's not money and fame and big houses and whatnot. It's about love and friendship and kindness, caring and family. And so he made this lovely suggestion. He said, you've already got these songs that feel like family to people. Why don't we just reimagine them and reinvite them into the homes of people all across the world? And I thought, what a cool idea. And that's how it began.
Well, let's briefly talk on something you just touched on. You suffered a stroke. It affected the right side of your body, correct?
Yes. I was paralyzed on the right side of my body completely paralyzed for about 3 or 4 days, and then my fingers and toes started to wiggle, and it took me about 9 months to
Did
get
you
back.
have high blood pressure, Alan?
Yes. I mean, I have a history of high blood pressure and high cholesterol, even though I'm a smaller guy and a fit guy, but it knows no age. It doesn't discriminate. And I was on medication, but I kind of got lazy with it because I was swimming and exercising.
Sure.
Got a little complacent and didn't take my meds.
Yeah, Sue's mom has suffered pretty much the same situation.
At the same age as you,
yeah, at
believe
58,
it or not.
and
Yes.
affected her left side.
It's affected her left side. Yeah, I mean, it's a scary, scary thing. I'm so happy that you're back and able to golf and you're doing well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What did you attribute to getting back? And I know I'm not making a pun here, but what got you back on your feet? What was it that you did that made the difference?
I've talked to. I'm a tenacious bugger to start with. I know. It's like I've always been one of those people. My mantra is when something happens, you mourn it. You allow yourself to mourn it, and then you have to accept it. You have to accept where you are, and then you fight. That's it. So for me, one of the things I was told, though, for the listeners who haven't checked that cholesterol recently or the blood pressure, apparently how fit you are going into something like a stroke really sort of dictates how well you'll be able to fight it. And like I say, I was a fit guy, swimming all the time, working out. So I probably had a good shot at coming back at it between being really tenacious and determined and being, fit going in.
Right.
We're glad you're back and you're feeling well. Hey, listen, let's talk about, you've got a New York City show coming up for our listeners who want to head into the city. You're going to be at the Highland Ballroom on September 1st, Labor Day weekend. That's going to be a big show.
Yeah, I mean, we realize trying to branch out back into the States. It's funny, we're doing the same thing in the UK, and always the journalists and the DJs and stuff, they very much remember Glass Tiger. But the fans, you get a little bit detached from them. They say, wow, why has it been so long? And it's just the way it goes, like 1 year turns to 4, turns to 10. Next thing you blink and 20 some odd years have gone by. But so we realize that, it's going to take a bit of work. I don't know whether there'll be one person in that club or 100 or 5. I have no idea. But whoever's going to be sitting in that club are going to get blown away. The band's playing killer. We'll play all the classic stuff. And if we have to come back again and again to really establish a fan base in America, that's what we'll do.
Excellent. Check out the new album. It's called 31, and it is absolutely fantastic. Don't Forget Me. I love it. The remake of it, you just did a fantastic job. Absolutely fantastic, and we're going to play that for everybody right now for them to hear. Don't forget New York City.
I love it.
The Highland Ballroom, September 1st, taking us back to 1987. Alan Frew, Glass Tiger. Thanks for being with us, Alan, and we'll
Thank
have
you,
all
guys.
details about you up on our website.
Thank you so much.
Hey, listen,
Thank
go
you,
tee
Alan.
off now. Get back to that game.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, there he is.
Tiger!
Here it is. It's
Oh,
the
my word.
reboot, refreshed. Don't Forget Me When I'm Gone with 92.7 WOBM.
Oh, you take my breath away. Oh, and the love thinks it's here to stay. Still so much for me to do, and I can't stop loving you. Oh, can this be true? If you could see what I've seen. Broken hearts and broken dreams. Then I wake up and you're not there. Pain finds me everywhere. Oh, but you don't care. Don't forget me when I'm gone. My heart would break. I have loved you for so long. It's all I can take. Yeah, you take my breath away. Oh, and the love thinks it's here to stay. Oh, still so much for me to do, and I can't stop loving you. Oh, can this be true? Yeah, yeah. 'Then I wake up and you're not there. Oh, but you don't care. Don't forget me when I'm gone. My heart would break. I have loved you for so long. It's all I can take. Don't forget me when I'm gone. My heart will break. I have loved you for so long. It's all I can take. Don't forget me when I'm gone. Don't forget me when I'm gone. Don't forget me when I'm gone. All I can take. Don't forget me when I'm gone. Don't forget me when I'm gone. Don't forget me when I'm gone.
92.7 WOBM, Shawn and Sue, and it's our pleasure right now to welcome in our special guest. Steve Perry is joining us, talk about a new project he's got going on. Good morning, Steve.
Hi,
Good
Steve.
morning to you, too.
Steve Perry, how cool.
You're so sweet, Sue. Thank you.
Hey, it's called Traces, Steve.
Yeah.
It's a brand new album. Let's talk a little bit about this. Now, it's a new project for you. What was the inspiration behind getting this album out?
Well, you know, it'd been quite a few years since I'd actually made a record, or actually since I'd left the business. And there was a big downtime. And I just kind of went back and discovered my old life and the friends and the places in my hometown where I was raised. And if you look at the cover really closely, there's a lot of traces of the past and traces of memories and parts of my life that really are in the music and in the cover.
Yeah, you know, I was looking at some of the notes here, and they talk about how, like, the images on the cover of the album represent traces of the past.
Right.
You know, how did you incorporate that?
Well, I talked to the artist, who was Jeff Wack. I told him I want a cover that has these iconic little photos that I had sitting around, like little parts of a city, or for instance, the theater in my hometown where my dad used to sing is still there, and my old house at that time was still there. The Golden Gate Bridge is still there, you know, thank God. And so all these places that have impacted my life emotionally are just in the music, and I wanted them on the cover.
Very nice. Hey, let's talk a bit about the production of this. You decided to go with a lot of live musicians here. You know, in this day and age, well, you could do a lot with a PC, a laptop, and a good battery. But you decided to go a different route with all this.
Well, you know, I sketched and wrote the material with whatever kind of rhythms I had, or loops or clicks, just to have something to lean against to write the ideas. And that decision was weighing on me what direction to produce the record into. Once I started hooking up with Tom Flowers, my co-producer, and also he played guitar in a couple of songs, by the way. Once we started talking about it, we kind of agreed that I think emotionally, if I can work with a Vinnie Colaiuto, a drummer like that, if I can work with Steve Ferroni or Josh Freese, I probably should, you know? And so I did.
Makes a lot of sense. How about No Erasing? That's the first song. Now, in fact, we're going to hear that in just a couple of minutes. But that's the first single. Tell us a little bit about that.
No Erasing was a song that came about just on its own, about a class reunion. You know, I went to a class reunion. Well, I shouldn't really bring this up because it might bust somebody out, but it was a class reunion. We'll leave it neutral. And running into somebody you knew back in high school, you haven't seen them in a long time. You get in her car and you kind of go off to the spot where you used to smooch together and talk, and you get in the back seat of her car, and maybe you have a couple of smooches. Nothing serious, because you both got your own lives, you know.
Oh my
but you
God.
talk about what it was like back in the day when you were in high school together, and it's just, you know, that connection, that emotional connection that everybody has, that first sort of love, it never goes away. And so the song is about that. It's also about, you know, having that emotional reunion with the fans.
Yeah, and that's always so important, isn't it, after, you know, some time here and folks remember. I got to tell you a real quick story, Steve, before we play the single. I was visiting a friend of mine. He had lived here on the East Coast in Jersey, but he moved out to California. And this was, you know, back in the late 70s when he moved out to California. And I went out there to visit him. And he moved to a place called Livermore, California. And it was on the mainland side of, I guess, you know, inland from Oakland. They took me over to San Francisco, gave me the tour and everything. And they said, by the way, you got to hear this singer. His name's Steve Perry, and he's really good. And that's where I first heard you back all those years ago. And now, you know, it sort of comes full circle after all these years getting to talk to you. And I remember going home saying, there's this guy out in California, Steve Perry. He's really good. I never heard him here on the East Coast. But when I was out in California, out in San Fran, you were singing about the Golden Gate Bridge and all that good stuff. So
Yeah. What was your friend's name?
My friend's name was David.
Well,
So-
you tell David thank you for introducing the music to you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and then one of my first memories of your music. Hey, let's do it. Why don't we play the new song, and let's hope that we get to see you come here to the Jersey Shore, come to Jersey pretty soon, and maybe do this album for us.
I would love that. I would love
Cool.
Hey, Steve, if folks want more information about your new project, your new music, how do they get a hold of Steve Perry on the web?
Well, StevePerry.com is up and running. I am a internet mofo now.
There you go. And, of course,
Oh, my goodness.
you can also check out the music, the song in the album dropping, and it's called Traces, the album. Here's No Erasing. Steve, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much, Shawn. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you, honey. Have a good one, Steve.
There he
dear.
is. Steve
Bye-bye.
Perry, ladies and gentlemen. No Erasing. Here it is, his latest on WOBM.
Thanks for listening to Shawn and Sue's podcast on 92.7 WOBM. For more details, go to WOBM.com.